two. I said microphone check. 1, 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. I'm one of a kind, I'm like a rare breed. A breath of fresh air, you can see me. People stand up just to greet me. Role model, kids wanna be me. Listen now, later you'll believe me. Got you under my spell, the whole thing was easy. I just come and wink my eye like a genie. Put my crown on, y'all little peasant can king me. I'm irreplaceable, the different one. Since I was born, I was the chosen one. Every time I speak, you know it's unique. Might go over your head, my words are kinda too deep. Man, I'm wise like an eyelid. Summa cum laude, I graduated from college. Man, you a fool if you doubt this. Act like you know I'm the one that's about this. King. Me. King. Me. King. Me. King. Me. I do what I want, call me a prima donna, a capitalist, you know I'm about $1. I did it my way, no apologies, marching to my own beat, they still wanna follow me. Come with me. Diamond in the rough, I'm a future star, but envy is a mother, they'll shoot your car. Gotta bob and weave through the jealousy, enter at your own risk, I guess is what you telling me. We ain't the same, I ain't like the others. It's levels to this thing, don't be righteous, brothers. I got a quality, my rep is distinct, unmistakable. Please, come and tell me what you think. Never mind, I know I'm hot dog. Y'all need to catch up, I'm about to pop y'all. Certified rock star, chain around my neck, middle finger to the cop car. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Who want the smoke? Who want the smoke? Who want the smoke? Yeah, I wait. I'm still waiting. Nobody do it like me. Nobody do it like me.
All right. Welcome to Hearth Center. I'm your host, Saku, tonight. So I get the honor to introduce the Legacy Series Season 25 champions. Typically, that's usually done by Lotus Knight and Fam. So that would be like Super Chicken, who's also joining me, helping me out, and a few other individuals. So, Pain Marchand, champions, beating Amber Flight Gaming 14-11. Two top teams that were killing it all season. They get to join us tonight. So I'm going to introduce one by one. We're going to go with the 1 seed Yo Daddy from Down Under. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks for having us on the show.
Got it. 2 seed A2 Battleship. Longtime THLer. How are you doing?
Howdy. I'm doing great. Long day at work, but doing great.
Perfect. We got the captain. We got Geranium Battle ripping in there. How are you?
I'm doing great. Fantastic end to a fantastic season. And yeah, excited to hear these questions.
And then we got the 4 seed Canoe. How you doing, Canoe?
Good. How about you?
Good. And last but not least, Diamond. How you doing?
I don't know how I ended up down here.
You're just flexing. That's all. Again, I did mention Super Chicken. So how you doing, Super Chicken? I forgot to throw you in the mix there.
I'm great, thanks.
Good. Coming off of a volleyball situation.
Volleyball loss. That was a tough loss. We lost 2 games to 1, and one of the games we lost 27-26. So it was certainly a tough loss to swallow, but on to the next week.
Get your bearings back and rock and roll for the next game. So, just for our viewers' situation, they could see the graphic on the top right-hand corner, but we'll just go over this real quick. So we saw Yo Daddy defeating Neji Boston 3-1. We got A2 Battleship defeating the Ron Mexico. Geranium Battle lost to a close one to Copa 3-2. Canoe got blanked, unfortunately, to Azalea Akari. And then Diamond won 3-1 over Charup. So, I guess the question I'm going to have here for Geranium Battle, real quick, is how did you come about selecting your squad for the season 25?
Well, so I selected. My first idea was I was going to have a really busted bottom line. I think I was going to try and do Canoe, Carry, Corridon, and then like 2 550s or something like that. However, Corridon quit the game, and so I decided to put myself in. So that's an easy choice, and Diamond was Diamond was messaging me, helping me find replacement players, and just in general finding himself as well to go onto the team. So the team sort of built itself up from the ground floor.
So not too difficult of a selection, I guess, eh? Not too bad. Got the team together, so and won the chip. So, so this is again another. Unless Chicken had a question, I have another question lined up.
I had one for A2 specifically. Be worried.
Oh gosh.
No, it's just kind of talking about your, I guess, sort of return to Hearthstone. Like, how did you find your return? And seeing that you did have pretty good success throughout the season, how did you kind of get back into your previous form?
That's a great question. What kind of happens to me, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, is that when you really love something, you kind of just obsess over it for so long, and it just gets under your skin the way things are. Not necessarily that the things are bad or whatever. It's just you see the same thing over and over again, especially if you like a specific deck a lot or don't like a specific deck a lot, and you feel like you have to play against it a lot. You just get sick of it. So that's happened to me a few times. Happened to me in Angora. It happened to me in Witchwood. Happened to me in Roscon's Rumble. But I always bounce back, and I always, I still have that underlying love for the game. So because I've spent so long with it, it's been 10 years now, right? Came out in March 2013, and it's almost 2024. So it always starts with, I want to try to play the game right now and just see how it is. And once you do that, it comes naturally from there. You start playing more, you start talking to people about it more. You start to remember, oh man, remember when I did that thing? And remember when I played against this other person I won? And you go, wow, I kind of want to do that again. And so that's it. From there, it just, especially if you're friends with people like Diamond and Geranium Battle, who are like, yeah, you should join us and have fun with us. And, having that community of like people you like talking to really helps you, especially when it's built around the game. So that's just kind of how it happened to me.
Awesome. All right, I have a little bit of a team question here. So, who came up with the team name and the team graphic?
I mean, Diamond was the one who came up with it. So, Diamond, if you want to speak to.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. I was like, it's an APM team, and then I don't know. I was speaking French that day, even though the team name does not transfer. It means bread merchants, as in the merchants are bread, not people who sell bread. And then I think you can speak more on the logo, Geranium, because you got inspired by other stuff.
Yeah. So Diamond came up with the team name while I was running, and then like immediately when he said the name, I went, "Oh, that sounds a lot like the Aussie Pain Merchants," which is one of the like first or second ever APM teams. So, if you go back and look at that team's logo, which I don't know, is easier for me to do in the APM server because they just have a backlog of it. But I just basically copied that as closely as possible. Of instead of an Australian flag in the back, a French flag. You know, instead of an Australian like outdoorsman hat, a chef hat. So that's sort of how the logo got made.
Perfect. Chicken, you get another question or?
Yeah, I'll just go with a more general question. Who was the most difficult team you faced this season?
I just want to say personally, facing Ron is always it's always super difficult. He plays at such a high level. His floor is so high. Even when he's having a bad day, he still plays super well.
And he
So
gets so lucky.
yeah, you have to get really lucky, and I did. I got super lucky in one of my games. Essentially, I played Frost Max Death Knight, which I kind of decided was like, screw it, I'm gonna go counter mage and rogue, and it was kind of a Hail Mary, and I practiced it a little with Yodaddy, and it beat mage pretty consistently, so I kind of did it. But I faced it against his rogue, his secret rogue, and he played really well. He played Astor perfectly, making sure he could get a little bit extra health right when I was about to kill him. And then he played a Gravedigger, Shallow Gravedigger, and used it to shuffle in Frostworm's Fury, which is the last of the burn. And the next turn, I just threw it off the top, and it didn't matter. And it would have been really close. I still think I would have lost. I would have lost if I'd drawn pretty much any other card in that deck, because all the other cards are mechs that you can just easily kill once you have a Prison Breaker, and you had one in hand, I think. So again, I got super lucky, and Ron is one of those people who, there's a reason why he streams and does so well streaming. He just plays the game well. We were facing each other in top 200 Legend while I was practicing, and every single time I conceded, and I kind of told myself I didn't want him to see what deck I was playing, because I was practicing what decks I was going to be facing against him. But I think the real reason was gosh, it's going to tilt me so bad if I lose on ladder against Ron before I actually play him. So I was just like, I just got to not do that. And speaking of playing in ladder for that last week, what helped me out a little bit was I kept facing Super Chicken with Plague
I
Death
do
Knight.
remember those games.
And I faced him, I think, twice or three times with Plague Death Knight. He was Warlock, and he just kept fucking winning. Excuse me, I shouldn't curse.
That's okay.
But I shuffled like a dozen plagues into his deck twice, and he ended up drawing like 3 total or something like that. And I was like, why aren't you dying? Please just die. And he was like, this deck just sucks. And I thought about it, and he's like, no, I'm just being salty about it. And then I was like, no, he's right. This deck sucks. It's not going to beat the decks I'm facing. So I changed it, and I won with that deck that I changed it to. So thank you, Super Chicken, for calling me bad.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the Plague Death Knight. I mean, it was good against Druid for sure, and I think it's like good into Priest as well. But certainly feels like it's at a disadvantage against most other decks in the meta. At least to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. It has a lot of the like cards that you have to run in Unholy DH to make it good, but it doesn't have the early game to support it. So it's kind of odd where it's like if the plagues aren't the be all end all of the deck and they're not drawing all of them, you kind of just lose.
So kind of segues into another question I have, I guess, for everybody. We'll just really start with YoDaddy, I guess, and then go down the line. A2 kind of touched a little bit about his match against Ron. So how did you guys prep against your opponent? So YoDaddy versus Neji and A2 versus Ron, etc.
Yeah, throughout the season, every match I played went to 5 games. It was a bit of a running joke that like everything, no matter like I could be up 2-0, I could be down 2-0, always bring it back to 5 games. And then finally against Neji, it didn't go to 5 games, and I won in 4. That was pretty good timing to have it in the finals. But for preparation, it was pretty much just bring the best decks and expect that he'll bring the best decks as well. Just I played a tournament like a couple of days before where I absolutely rolled Mech Rogue, so that was kind of the target lineup for me. And he ended up bringing Mech Rogue, which I did sweep, so it ended up paying off. But there wasn't really that much thought put into it compared to like the Frost Death Knight and all the weird off-meta brings that some other people brought. It was just bring the good decks and hope to get the matchups that I wanted, and it paid off.
A2? I guess you really explained and prepped for Ron, but...
Yeah, I mean, Ron was the one where I prepped the most. I think for pretty much for most other weeks, it was, oh, I played this deck and this deck and this deck and this deck, and I liked them, so I brought them. There are a few times where it was as simple as I played a deck in a week, and it just felt weird, so I dropped it, or I played a deck earlier that just on ladder, and it felt weird, and I dropped it. And there were some times where, when Druid was really good, it was just the cynical thought of Druid is good, bring Druid, ban Druid, don't even practice it because the other person's going to ban it. But other than that, yeah, it was. I'm very much an instinctual player, and I just play what I like to play.
Fair. Geranium?
Yeah, so as I sort of said in Diamond's blog interview of me earlier in the season, I generally put in a lot more of my work on prep into Hero. So I kind of carried the ideas from the Hero prep over to Legacy for the final week, especially because I was facing against Diamond in Hero, so it was hard for me to like really communicate what I wanted to do in Legacy because it was kind of similar to what I wanted to do in Hero. So yeah, what I ended up doing was pretty similar. I brought Spell DH because it did well against Mage and Rogue, and it did not do well against Warrior. But like it's kind of a ban Warrior sort of setup, and then Priest because that's what I've been bringing the entire year of just like it's really good in Legacy because it can find a win somewhere. When we actually got into the games, it turns out that they predicted that I was going to bring Control Priest because that's what I always do, and they brought a full Control Priest hate lineup. But I didn't know that when I was prepping. And then in the Secret Rogue was the other deck that I actually had to play. I think I brought Warrior, but I knew that Warrior was going to get banned because that's just what everyone was doing that final week. Secret Rogue was the final deck. I sort of just like thought to myself, oh, okay, well, what's sort of the quote unquote best thing? Because there were a lot of different ideas that could be done with Rogue, and I think probably Miracle Rogue was just a better deck for me throughout my course of THL history. But I felt like, oh, okay, Secret Rogue still has some fairly degenerate stuff that it can do. So hopefully it's just going to do that degenerate stuff early and then close it out with like more consistency than Miracle Rogue, which it didn't, or at least it was consistent in that I went 0-3 with it. But yeah, they brought a full Control Priest counter lineup, and I mean, like, I sort of knew going in that Control Priest wins any matchup. It doesn't matter. So I just got it through in game 2, no problem. Or I should say, not no problem, because on turn 8, Copa made a 14/14 off of a Haunted Graveyard and had a 13 attack weapon. And I was at 15 life. And he had, I think it was something like, something close to like 20/20 in stats spread out across the rest of his board. So, it was kind of strenuous on that turn 8, but I don't know. I just found everything that I needed to, because Priest is awful and you should ban it every time.
All right, Canoe, you had the unlucky side of things. Walk us through what Azalea.
Yeah. Did similar thing on prep to Terranium. We do a lot of prep for Hero, and then I think the match order matters a lot less, but the individual matchups that we practice just as much. So yeah, it was Azalea played very, very clean games. Gotta give props is due. But yeah, got hit with the Spell DH hate, double Cult Neophyte, double Speaker Stomper. That was game 1, and then from there it just kind of ground to a halt.
Yep. And Diamond, your match versus Charop.
Yeah, at least prep-wise, Geranium said exactly like, hey, these 4 classes would be pretty good into what we think he's gonna bring, and those 4 classes were pretty good into what what he brought. So yeah, there isn't really much about it. I was happy to win again. I won twice in playoffs compared to the rest of the season, so I don't know what that says, but yeah. And then somehow losing in semis dropped me down in the 5 as well when I started in the 3 originally.
Right, chicken. Oh, go ahead.
I will note that for Diamond, we were like much more hard on these classes, or the ones that should be brought, because we kind of knew exactly what classes Charop would bring. So that one was a bit easier for prep, unfortunately, for Charop.
All right.
I had a question for Diamond. Obviously, you've captained plenty of teams in the past, but you were not the captain of this team. But I was wondering if maybe captaining so many legacy teams maybe made you forget that you were not a captain and made you play like one for the regular season. And also, I guess to follow up on that, did you remember that you were not in fact a captain and actually had to win games in the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know what really happened early on this season. I didn't win until the 4th or 5th week. I think it was just a mix of being busy with school and just not really playing the game. And then the one week I think I actually played some ladder. I was like, oh, I won my set. And then I stopped playing Hearthstone again. I was like, oh, it's playoffs time. So yeah, I don't know. I had captain syndrome. What can I say, chicken?
Hard to let the leash go, eh?
We've all been there, including me this season in Legacy.
Diamond, I will say, in Hero, you like took all the wins that we needed in Legacy and you brought them over to Hero.
Yeah, I just like one format more than the other. I think the season made it pretty clear.
Question about to the team. Anybody can answer. So, who's the organized one? Who's the procrastinator? And who chats the most?
I'll type procrastinator. It'll be an hour before my match. Nah, it'll be the night before, and I'm like, hey, can I get a 120, please? Send me the list. I'll get practicing.
Can we all take every role we're all big procrastinators and also organized when we need to be.
Yeah, but most chatty definitely goes to you though. You definitely have the most messages by far, right?
You
Yeah, you
freaking
definitely carried.
Wait, what about most emotes though?
Most gifts then goes to
yeah,
me.
most gifts. No. Canoe speaks in only gifts. No
Kind
shot.
of. No, I'm a sticker fan. The Choco bird, cheerful Choco.
True.
Simple way to get your point across, right?
Every emotion can be captured with that one little bird.
I think A2 kind of touched on a question. It was more, if you guys want to flash through this real quick, your favorite class / archetype this season.
Ooh.
Diamond.
Start at the top.
Yeah. Okay. So Yo Daddy, give her.
Favorite archetype. I kind of like hated all the decks this expansion. But no, most fun would probably have to be like the second iteration of Secret Hunter when they cut all the secrets and just went face.
Face is the
Yeah, I
place.
like going. Yeah.
A2.
Gosh, this is gonna be a little degenerate, but Mech Rogue, honestly, just like winning early and then just snowballing it into a 10-12 win fury that they just can't deal with. Pretty good, pretty fun to just not interact with them at all because it's been stealth the entire game.
Geranium.
I mean,
You're priest, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty clear one for me of control priest. I will say, side runner for me was spell DH near the end of the season, just because there's like echoes of what spell DH was like when it was running relics 2 seasons ago, and spell DH wins any matchup for sure.
Canoe with your half a day prep. What one was yours?
Well, if I got to pick what decks I brought, it would have been Plague DK, but that got hard vetoed every week. Diamond and I even tried to theory craft our own plagueless Plague DK, but no, I think that I think Priest is always just a fun class. I really like the big fish. It bails me out of a lot of guaranteed losses, so yeah, gotta be Priest.
Okay. And Diamond.
Yeah, at the beginning, I liked Nature Shaman, and then I got nerfed. Then I liked the Good Druid, and then I got nerfed. And then Mage was fine. So I guess Mage, or even in Rage Warrior, was fun to play. Yeah, I feel like I liked all the fun decks, and the fun decks got taken away or banned, so I didn't get to play them.
Right. Had a question for Diamond. This one came from out of nowhere, but you're probably going to find out as soon as I say it. Now that you've won another title, how does it feel to be tied in championships with Neji, and do you plan to surpass him?
It feels good, honestly. I mean, Najib talked to us a lot. It was like either he wins one more this finals particularly, and then I don't think I ever catch him. But I don't think I surpass him because at this point me and Neji team up whenever we can, and it's possible besides Legacy this season. So realistically, we both end with the same, unless I win in Wild somehow. Then that's the only difference maker. But yeah, feels good.
What's the record?
We're both at 11.
Jesus. 11.
Yeah.
That's so
We,
many.
we do a little winning sometimes.
I don't think I'm catching up to that.
Rumor has it. Chicken, did you have another question? If not,
I think so.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna steal one of your questions. Uh, actually, no. This is sort of stealing your idea for a question, but kind of turning it towards the next expansion. I was just wondering how you guys are feeling about the next expansion, if you've looked at it all, and do you have a favorite or most anticipated card from the next set?
I'm excited
Uh,
Highlander will return. And I really looked at all the cards, but I think the Warlock Excavate Legendary looks good to me.
Are you talking
yeah,
about the train
same.
guy or the snake?
The snake guy.
The snake.
Oh, gotcha.
I've theory crafted a really degenerate wild deck that should like replay the snake 3 times in like turn 6 and just destroy through every like ice block, every disruption. Just play Rotten 5, win on 6, back to degenerate days.
Most fair wild deck.
All right. Okay.
Personally, I've always been a big fan of like Embiggen Druid shenanigans, which is just stats on curve. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Elemental Shaman. I don't think it's good enough to see play, but I'm going to be playing it day one probably.
I'm going
And with
to
that, with that, probably my favorite card, Scar. It's going to be bad, but I hope to kill people with it.
uh, going to bring it back to Warlock, and I'm going to hope that Hearthstone really brings it back to 4 mana, 2/6 legendary with lifesteal effect that carries out the rest of the game. Hoping Popgar does some no, not Ilgi. Ilgi is not in the game anymore, but Popgar, making all my barrels of sludge do lifesteal. I'm hoping that does something, but it'll probably do nothing.
Anybody else? Or?
One of the things I noticed with a lot of the cards in the new expansion is that it kind of feels like they made it with duels in mind. Like a lot of specifically the Warlock cards are like when you discard this, something happens, which is very much in line with one of the duels hero powers, where you get to discard a card and draw a card. So that's something I noticed that I thought was odd.
I feel like the Gunslinger Kurtrus, the Demon Hunter legendary, hand interaction is. I'm hoping it's tasteful and fun and not unfun to play again.
All right. I'm going to ask the final question of the evening. I want to thank our viewers and actually the panel as well for enlightening us on the plans, the preps. Now you get to tell us your feelings on winning the championship of season 25.
Yeah, this is my first championship win. Been around a while, but just never won a finals. And yeah, it feels pretty good. Thanks for Geranium for messaging me, I think like 3 weeks into the season, saying we need a sub, come on. And then, yeah, he carried the lineup prep throughout the season and we got it done. So it's been fun.
Day 2?
Well, it's fun to get back in the game after not having played it in any sort of competitive aspect in so long. And it feels validating to have won in something this season. Um, it's been a while. I remember, after my first match against, I forget his name, but, they called me like, oh, he's the future of THL or whatever. And I always really liked that and being kind of validated like that. So, kind of showing that, oh, it's not just a fluke that I'm here again. It's really nice to hear.
GB?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a validation for me as well. Um, I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't sort of pull off the three-peat, me and Canoe, but we just like we gathered all the busted players together, the players who um like were like, oh, I don't know if we can win a championship, and then we just kept kept doing it every single week and made it there. So I am glad we're there.
Canoe and then Diamond after that.
Yeah. No, I mean, fantastic season. Got a great team, bunch of people who care a lot about the game and the team itself. Always had good support when I was not subbing out for the week, but my subs also got fantastic support. But yeah, no, they're all fantastic people, and I'm glad to have played with.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It's been a while since I've done Legacy. Last time was the crazy collegiate team, and it was nice to play under 8 p.m. in Geranium Battle as well.
Yeah, it was a dream that I've had to cope about not getting for like my entire THL career of like I asked Diamond, can we play together? I asked Diamond, can we play together? And then finally this last season he asks me if we can play together and then we get it. So
I also will say this might be the first time maybe we were like in my first pro season on the same team or something, but it's been a while if we ever have that I've been on Diamond's team, and we've been friends since I was in college, which has been, oh gosh, it's been 3 or 4 years now, hasn't it? So, and Diamond's always been the greatest to me. He's always there to pick me up. I've had a lot of great conversations with him, and he's been so supportive of me, even when, you know, I'm not always a great guy, but even when I was kind of a jerk, he was really just a force of good. So, being able to kind of come together and do something with him, it meant a lot to me, especially since we won it. So, and it was great getting to know Geranium. We've been talking for a long time, but we've never really done that much together before. So it was nice to really get a better, get in better touch with him. So, this whole team has been great, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Okay. Was there any final words before we let everybody go for the evening there, Geranium? I mean, there's other announcements?
there is something that I want to say now that it's sort of like a good ending note to win every series that I was a part of in this season. And yeah, with just how my life is going, I think I'm going to be done with THL. I'll still be doing content. I'll still be trying to help people get teams together and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time to really put in effort to another season. And I'm glad that the fruits bore in this final season because I was going to have to leave anyways.
Okay. Sad news to hear. But yeah, thanks for the clap there, Diamond. It was better than this one, I guess. So, anybody else with some final words before we let everybody go to their evening?
I only mainline for teams that Geranium captains, so yeah, probably also taking an extended break.
Okay.
I might also take a break, but that's just because.
we win finals and we all quit the game.
Yeah, at that point, it's just because it's funny.
Yeah.
I might also quit the game. I've been trying to do that for like the past 3 seasons, and somebody always texts me for a sub. But I think Bone Masher wants me for the pro team, but otherwise it might be time to take a break from THL as well.
Don't worry, I'll be playing at least one more, and then I might also be taking an extended break.
I think everybody has at some point. So,
final announcement. So we talked about that. One of the other last things that I had to do was make a banner, and I'm hoping once Ron stops streaming that he will be posting the legacy banner up tonight as well. So I will not have it be like 3 months late again.
Do you have the banner? I could flash it up on the screen real quick if you have it right now.
Yeah. I'll post it in this chat.
Stay tuned. Here we go. Okay.
Boom.
Image. All right. Didn't save properly. Hey. This is getting anticlimactic all of a sudden.
I always love long, awkward pauses in my media, so it's probably fine.
This is just.
There we go. Diamond's got the forever drum roll.
You gotta throw in a few quacks in there. There you go. Thank you. I feel seen.
The banner's worth the wait.
All right. See if I can add a picture here.
God, I love soundboards.
Hey, there we go. Now we finally got it. I was gonna do this, but probably a little bit late now. There, it's up on screen. There is the final image. It's going to be on the THL website in the next coming days. Thanks to Ron Mexico and friends. But yeah, Chicken, did you have any final words before we go? Congrats to the group.
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just wanted to say congrats to the team on a great season, and thank you to everyone who runs THL for another great season. That was a fun season, and we sort of eliminated double weeks. We had like one double week when the mini set dropped. But other than that, we kind of eradicated them. Yeah. Hopefully forever.
That was the plan. Double weeks will never happen again. So, but behalf of the group here, thanks everybody again for tuning in. Congrats again to I can't even say it. My French is bad in Nova Scotia, which is sad. So Ope Marchand, congrats to the group. Thanks again. We will see you on the next show, which would be what do we got?
Is the next one reveals? I don't know if we have any off-season stuff.
No, we don't have any off-season stuff. So yeah, other than the expansion coming out, we just have the team reveals, which is going to be on the 25th, which is a Saturday during Thanksgiving weekend, and team reveals for Hero and Legacy will be on the 26th, November 26th. So stay tuned for that. And then obviously season starts November 27th on Monday. Cool. Thanks, everybody. We will see you shortly. Hopefully have a great week, rest of your week, and a great weekend. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Here we go. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. I said microphone check. 1, 2.